Okay, so first I just want to go over some parts of the controller that are going to be necessary. Now, depending on which kind of controller you have will depend on where the buttons are, how you use the buttons, etc. However, with DJing, there are some very basic rules and basic things that no matter what equipment you're playing on, you're going to want to use. So I'm just kind of going to briefly go over the functions on here because most likely you're going to be using a different controller. Now, the functions that I'm going to use on here can be translated to any different type of equipment, okay? So first, I'm going to just go through some parts of the equipment here. Up here on top, we have effects. So these are often used while you're DJing, and there's a fine line between using too many and not using enough, or being, too happy crazy with effects. So we only want to use them at critical parts of the music where we think it can add to what we're doing. We don't want to add too much, but we just want to have a little bit of addition, change up the song a little bit, make a little bit of your own creation with the song. Okay, so that's what these are up here for. Now, a lot of different DJ equipment is going to have this load function here, and that is going to look different. But this is basically so when you're scrolling through your library, which you can scroll through this knob here, you're going to load a song. Okay, so that's going to load on track 3. Now if you want to load this song, that's going to load on track A, and etc. Okay, so that's those functions. Then we have our trim and our master volume. So your master volume is the volume that is going to be played out. And now this is the very important one, and you don't want the lines to go up too high. So if we see, if we're playing here, okay, see how this is green? This is good, okay? Yellow is okay, but as soon as we get into the red, that's bad, okay? So this is something important to teach to your students. So I'm just going to turn this up a bit. So that is this is safe volume. This is probably safe too. You don't want to go. This is too loud. So as soon as we got into that red, that is far too loud and actually ruined the machine. Okay, so this part, this trim here is doing the controls of your actual channel, okay? This is the master volume. Then we have all of the controls for your channel. So we have turn this up a little bit. We have the bass here. So again, it's going to turn up the bass and the percussion sounds. Turn it up, you can kind of hear, okay? Then we'll turn that down a bit. Then we have our mids. A lot of times this is vocals as well. And then we have our highs. So those are the higher pitch sounds that you would hear in the song. Okay? We turn all those down. This is what it sounds like. Okay? Let's turn up this one. So you can hear it. They're still the higher pitch sounds, but pretty much like medium. And there's the bass. So you can see it doesn't sound right with only, one sound. You need all of them. You can play around with these while you're playing. Okay? Then we have our fader here. So this is very important too. This is how you actually turn the music up to hear it. Okay, turn it down. You have one for each channel. Okay. And then this is the cue button. So then you can hear on your headphones. So you can hear it's playing right now. So then I want to hear this track. And then the master cue. So that's both. Okay. Okay. Then we have our jog wheel. Okay. So this is how you're going to beat match. Okay. Here we're going to pick our tempo already. Okay. So that's going to slow down the song or speed it up. And this is how we control to basically get the songs at the same beat. So pretty much all electronic music, for the most part, I guess when you're talking about house music, it's a 4/4 beat, so there's 4 beats in one bar. Okay, so this is what you're going to use to be able to sync up the song so that they sound the same, so they don't sound like this. You can hear, okay, so you can hear, that's a bad mix, that's what you don't want it to sound like because the beats are off. So you're going to use this strong wheel, okay? So you can hear, speeding it up, and you can slow it down this way. Okay? Okay. So in order to make the song sound good, this is what you have to do as a DJ, you need to be able to beat match, and that's how you're going to do it with these. And then lastly, we have some cues down here. Now, I'm not going to go over to these too heavily because you really want to learn how to DJ the basics before you get into these, okay? And a lot of controllers aren't going to have these. So you can actually use these functions in Serato as well, but I'll show you quickly. Okay, so a roll, basically doing a loop. Slicer, okay. Now the sampler is if you want to, you have to actually put a sound into the sampler and it will go. And a hot cue is just a point in the song that you picked and it'll go back to that song. Okay, right now I'm actually just setting the hot cues. And then lastly, we have our cue. So that's just queuing the song up. It's not actually going to play it. And then you have your play button, which is obviously very important. Okay, so those are the basic functions that you're going to see on any DJ equipment. And these are the basic functions that your student should understand before using any equipment or before trying to mix any songs. So at the end of this video, 1, you should be able to press play. You should be able to know how to turn up the volume and use the faders. And 3, you should be able to mix, kind of play with the bass, the mids, the highs, and maybe use some of the effects on the controller. Okay?